earlier session which we had this month was only for special members. Now, I have decided that the special members have already a structured course where we have covered 12 sessions. The primary and special members together, I will try to have at least 3 sessions because special members have 4 sessions per month and they will be eligible to attend this also. So, primary members will attend 3 sessions which are for members, and the session which is open to everyone, members and non-members, will be one per month, which all of you will be eligible to attend. For the all members session also, we need a structure. Till now, all members session, we have just spoken, we have cleared doubts, etc. That is why this time in the post, there was a video for you to watch. That is a video which was posted very, very long back, right at the beginning of the channel. And it is a video on the function of nouns. I don't know how many of you found the time to watch the video and whether after watching you have some doubts. First, let us talk about what is there in that video. If you have questions, please start typing your questions and putting it in the chat box so that as I'm speaking, if your questions come up, I will start answering them. After that, I will give you a small test based on what is there in the video and what I'm telling you now. In case you haven't seen the video, you can always follow what I'm saying now and attempt the test. Once you complete that, you will get familiar with the function of nouns, how they are used in sentences, and this will help you to speak and write good English. Our ultimate aim is to speak good English and to write good English. So, to speak and write good English, we need to do these. And one of them is good vocabulary. The other is good grammar. So, these are two very essential things. Today, we are beginning with the most important grammar function in a sentence, and that is a noun. Therefore, let us talk about this. The video which I suggested to you is called noun function. Now, what function does a noun do? If you have some answers, please give those answers also. If you have some questions, please ask those questions also. A very good evening to all who have joined now, and welcome to this session of all members. Now, in this session of all members, we are going to talk about noun functions. That is our topic. In the post I had given you, I'm repeating myself again because some of you have just joined, that I had given you a video to watch. I don't know if you are getting the posts correctly. If you have your notification on, the post reaches you and you can watch. The noun functions are that the noun acts as a subject of the sentence. That is the first function. That means the verb action, the verb, whatever the verb is supposed to do, has to be done by somebody. And that somebody or something is the noun subject of the sentence. So that is always a noun function. The only other word which can do the same function of subject is a pronoun. So pronoun can also be a subject of a sentence. Noun can also be a subject of a sentence. No other part of speech can be the subject of the sentence. This is the first function of the noun. Now, what are the nouns which can act as subjects? The noun types is the first noun video. There are 3 noun videos already uploaded in the channel last year when the channel began, more than a year back. If you watch those videos, you will see that the noun types I have defined 4 types. So, a proper noun, name of some person, name of a place, name of, uh, you know, any specific area, something like the Indian Ocean. These are all proper nouns. So, this proper noun can act as a subject. Common nouns can always act as subjects. You say a computer, or you say a table or a chair, you say a house or a room. These are all common nouns. You say, friend or parent. All these are common nouns. They can all act as subject of a sentence. You also have abstract nouns like kindness or emotion or sorrow or happiness. These are all nouns. The adjective form is happy, happiness noun, happy. Kindness noun, kind adjective. So just a little change, the function also changes. So all abstract nouns are things which you cannot see, but you can feel. You cannot touch, but you can experience. These also can act as a subject of a sentence. Then you have collective nouns like team or crew or crowd or mob. These are all human beings. Or herd or school. School is for fish. A group of fish are called school of fish. So these are all collective nouns, a single noun acting as to indicate a group of people. All these are noun types which I described in one video. But in the third video, which I suggested that you see, I have told you that the most important and first function of the noun is that of a subject. No sentence in English can be there without a subject. The other functions are secondary functions because you can have sentences where the other functions of the noun are not there. But the subject function is essential. You cannot have a sentence without the subject function. Now we have the next function of the noun, and that is the object. The object is the noun which comes after the verb. Immediately after the verb, if the noun comes, then we call it as the object. Immediately after the verb. But certain verbs cannot allow this. Certain verbs, these are called intransitive verbs. Suppose I say, birds fly. Now, suppose where do birds fly? If I want to say, I cannot say birds fly sky. Sky is the noun. Fly cannot take sky immediately because it is intransitive. Then we need something to add. We need a preposition. So we say birds fly in the sky. Sky has article. Birds is plural, so you can do without it. Suppose you say bird, then you can say a bird or the bird. Singular always requires article. Plural can be without article also. So we say birds fly in the sky. So sky is an object, but we call it a prepositional object. So immediately following the verb, object. Being attached to the verb using a preposition, prepositional object. Now there are certain verbs like give or present. These verbs need 2 objects, one human and one non human. I gave my sister a book. Suppose you have I gave. I is the subject, pronoun here, not a noun. Gave is the verb. My sister, sister is the object. A book, book is another object. So we have two objects. I gave a book, that is the sentence. So I gave a book, that is the direct object. That is the actual object. But before that, something else comes. My sister. Sister is also a noun, it is also an object. So we say this is an indirect object. Without it, you can have the sentence. The sentence, I gave a book, is correct. But the sentence, I gave my sister, is not correct. So you cannot have the sentence only with the indirect subject. You can have the sentence by removing that subject also. So usually, very few verbs in English have two objects, and these two objects are where you have one human. The chief guest presented a trophy to the winning team. Now, the chief guest presented the trophy. The trophy is the direct object to present it to the winning team. Now we are using prepositional object. So here we have one direct object and one prepositional object. Now suppose you change the sentence and make it into direct indirect object. You can say the chief guest presented the trophy, end of sentence. The chief guest presented, verb, the trophy, only one object. Or you can say the chief guest presented the winning team. We remove the prepositional object and make it into an indirect object. The chief guest presented the winning team the trophy. So winning team, trophy come side by side. No preposition needed because one of them is the indirect object which can be removed from the sentence. The other is direct object which cannot be removed from the sentence. These are the object functions of a noun. The three object functions of a noun are: one is a straight object, only transitive verbs have. One is a prepositional object which intransitive verbs require by joining with a preposition. The other is certain verbs which require two objects. One is direct and the other is not direct. The not direct one is usually a human object, and the other one is, it can be human, non human, usually non human, inanimate. These three object types make the maximum mistakes in our speaking and writing. Therefore, we need to learn them properly. That is why, in that video which I suggested in the post, if you haven't seen the video, you can still see it. Most members are not attending the live session. You know why I want you to be present in the live session is because you can ask me immediately. Of course, if you don't have time, you can watch the recorded version. That also is equally good. And you can ask me in the comment box and I will give you the reply. But here you have direct access to understanding, direct access to questioning. And at the end of all this, I will give you an exercise. It will be like a test to find out what the function is. Now, the noun also has a third function, and that we call possessive. So we started with subject, we saw subject. Then second is object. In object, we saw three varieties of object. Only single object, direct, indirect object, prepositional object. These three we saw. Now we have a third variety: subject, object, possessive. Possessive is, recently I gave you a video on apostrophe. That was only a short video, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes video. Apostrophe is very important because an apostrophe indicates the possessive in the noun function. When you use the apostrophe, you know that this is the possessive function of the noun. For instance, you have two nouns together. Now you must remember, I'll tell you a funny thing to make you remember. If you invite two important people to a single function, they have ego clash, They say, I'm more important, I'm more important. So, for any function, we have only one chief guest. We don't have two chief guests. Nouns are like that. They are very important people. They are very important in a sentence. Therefore, we should not have two nouns side by side, either in the subject or object position. So, either subject or object noun can belong to another noun, which is called the possessive noun. So the noun which comes in front of the subject or the noun which comes in front of the object in a sentence, which is also a noun, is a possessive case. And that is indicated by putting a small comma at the top of the line, which punctuation mark is called apostrophe. Okay, we have here a sentence. I'm very happy you have this question. The seed cracks open. Now, here the word open is the non finite form of the verb to open, because open is a verb. Crack is already there, the verb form is there. Now, the seed cracks open is the non finite object use. You must remember that wherever the noun subject object is used, there the non finite also can be used. Today, I'm not mentioning the non finite because that will come after we have covered the verbs. Because first the verb function, and it is the bare infinitive. That is correct. The bare infinitive form to crack, to open, becomes open here. And open does the function of the object in the sentence. We can say that the carpenter cracks the wood, or we can say the wind cracks the trees. So this verb cracks requires an object, and that object function is being done by the word open, which in itself is not a noun, which itself is the infinitive form. Very good. So that is a good question, but the explanation might be a little tough for all of you. So don't get worried about that. Welcome, whoever is joining the channel now. I see good evenings coming one by one. I'm not paying much attention to the chat at present unless you have a question. So the possessive is, you say that my father's company. So you say my father, put a small comma on top, and then you put S, my father's company. So you have, your father has some business, he has some company. So you say company. You cannot say my father company. Then two nouns, they start fighting with each other. They have problems with each other. So you make the first noun into a possessive noun by putting apostrophe and S. Now, this rule changes if you have a S ending noun as the possessive. If the possessive noun itself has an S, it is very difficult to add one more S and pronounce it. Then the sound S, hissing sound comes. So we don't put another S. For all S ending nouns, we only put the apostrophe. That apostrophe indicates that the noun is in the possessive case. So we studied subject, object, possessive. In object, we studied three varieties: Only bare one object to a transitive verb, direct indirect object to certain verbs, and prepositional object. So, all of you who have joined just now have missed out. If you want, I can just do a small recap. But in the meantime, those of you who have watched the video which I told you to watch and who would like to ask questions, please ask them now. You feel free to ask them now. And all members who will watch this video, please try to attend the classes. I'm keeping 8 hours of my month free for live classes. I can just prepare videos and leave it on the channel. I need not have any live classes at all. But I'm keeping this time for all of you because all of you are very sincere. I feel really happy that all of you want to learn. Once you join the channel, please attend the live classes. The live classes are for you. We have hundreds of members, but I don't see the members in the live classes at all. Only a handful who are very sincere and they come all the time. When do we use of to mention possession? The company of my father, you can say that is correct, but I'm not showing you that is not called the possessive case. When you say the company of my father, then you are using the prepositional form. If you are using it in the subject of the sentence, then it becomes the noun phrase. The company of my father is in the next city. It is not in our city. So you say, the company of my father. Now, if you want to change it into the possessive, you say, my father's company is in the next city. A city which is next to ours. Like we have Hyderabad, Secunderabad, twin cities. So it is not here, it is in the next city. So in this way, we can use, or you can use it as the object. You can say that I work in the company of my father. I work in the business of my father. So here it becomes prepositional object. Or you can say the possessive, I work in my father's company. There you have the possessive. So two nouns coming side by side needs possessive. Very often one mistake is made, which I can tell you, and that is family member. You say, you are my family member. That is not the correct expression. The correct expression is, you are a member of my family, like, the company of my father. Similar structure, a member of my family, or my family's member. These are my family's members. So here you have my family, Y apostrophe S, not FAMILIES. Families, that is plural. My family is one family here. So family apostrophe S, my family's members. That is the possessive form. Or you say members of my family. That form also, where you are using okay, there is a signal problem. Don't worry. We are all dependent on connectivity. One day in the special members session, halfway I had to end because connectivity was terrible. And then I continued the next day. So you will find class 11, part 1, class 11, part 2. That happened already. So don't worry. Uh, Raghav Reddy Garu, please relax. Don't get worried. Don't get stressed out. This is available to you in a recorded form. You will get it. Nothing to worry at all. Whatever you can listen, you listen. If you cannot give any comments in the chat box, just be silent. No problem. Others will ask questions and do whatever they want. The only worry which I have is that when you watch the recorded form, and I'm not telling this to Raghav Reddy Garu, he's there every class. I'm telling it to others that those who only watch the recorded form don't see the live chat. The live chat disappears after the live class, so all the interesting discussions we have is not there. This is my sister's property. Excellent. This is my sister's property. You say sister apostrophe s. Now suppose you are talking about more than one sister. The property belongs to two of your sisters or three of your sisters. Then you say sisters, full word, and put the apostrophe after the s. The apostrophe is still needed, but it does not have an s after it. So I will put it in the chat box. You can say sisters, sister's property. That means a property which belongs to more than one sister. There is a property which you have to divide in among your two or three sisters. Then you have to say sister's property. But if it's only one, then of course we say sister apostrophe s. So that rule you have to remember, that if the noun is s ending noun, then just an apostrophe shows enough. Now, here you must remember that one place else where we use apostrophe for this kind of possessive is in the end of the letter. We say yours, yours, and apostrophe. Now, this is where people make mistakes. You often find that they write like this: your apostrophe s. Such a word is not to be used. There is no such word which you should use. So you say at the end of the letter, yours sincerely, yours truly, yours faithfully. yours is enough. But if you feel like putting apostrophe, put it after the s, not before the s. That apostrophe your apostrophe s is not there in the English language at all. Yes, I remember I saw your comment on the video. Just now, when I was starting the live class, I was checking the comments on the video which was just released today. And I saw your comment. I replied to your comment also. I'm very happy that you watched it. Children's Day? No, Children's Day, children is a plural noun. So you have to put the apostrophe in between N and S. Vittal Garu, please put Children's Day, apostrophe should be before S. Teacher's Day is correct. Teachers, because teachers is the plural. The day doesn't belong to one teacher, it belongs to all the teachers. I remember on 5th September, the channel was full of all your greetings. Happy Teacher's Day. I felt very happy because I get, messages and calls from students who have studied with me in, of course, a physical class 20, 30 years back. So I feel happy that all of you have also come into that group. And now we are, one nice close knit group. So Teacher's Day is correct. S apostrophe comes after S. Children's Day comes, children apostrophe S. Father's Day also apostrophe comes later after S, because the day is not for one father, it is for all father. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Parents' Day, Teacher's Day, all this, parent is a word. It is for two people, but it is parent apostrophe S. Whereas father is not apostrophe S. uh, you have to say fathers apostrophe comes after that. Child, children, very good. Then children's, that's correct. Children's is correct. So I hope you're getting this. Apostrophe creates a real problem. So we need to practice that much. Today, of course, I will give you an exercise. Now, I will show you a small story. I have adopted the story, but that story you will see on the screen. I want you to identify. Yes, Children's Day is correct. Teacher's Day is correct. Yes, very good. Both are correct. Samraj, both are correct. Okay. I hope if you have doubts, you immediately put it in the chat box. If you have questions, put it in the chat box. Now I'm going to share a screen with you. Now let me tell you what I'm going to do. There are many sentences. It's a short story. First, read the story. I will read it out to you also. Then, identify the nouns. First is identify the nouns. I want each of you to write the word which is a noun. Write the word and then say noun. Write the word and then say noun. Or only write the word. Then, afterwards, we will go sentence by sentence. We will not do the whole passage together. Nouns you can give as you want, but later, which is a subject, which is an object, which is a prepositional object, direct or indirect object, and which is a possessive. These also you will identify. We have half an hour more. In that, we will do the exercise. I want each of you to attempt the exercise. Remember, if you make mistakes, that is the best way of learning. No problem if you make mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the better you learn. Yes, I made a video on Dr. S. Radhakrishnan for Teachers' Day because he said, that if you want to pay respect to me, celebrate my birthday as Teachers' Day. That is why in India we have 5th of September as Teachers' Day. Okay, you are new. Uh, Very good. You want to improve your English speaking. Please attend all the live sessions wherever you are. If you are a primary member, you will have 4 live sessions per month. If you are a special member, you will have 8 live sessions per month. In these live sessions, we are learning many things which will help you to speak. But remember, I have already covered many sessions which are open to everybody where I have discussed spoken English. Watch those. Since you are new, you might watch those first. Go to the live column and watch all videos which are available, open to everybody. Then there are shadowing videos to help you to speak better. There are storytelling videos. Recently I gave you the story of Shakuntala. Mohan Valliji has written nicely the story again in the comments. Read those comments. Vittal Garu has written a poem. It's such a beautiful poem. I wish that all of you should read that poem. There are many other stories. King Bruce and the Spider, with our childhood story, which is so interesting. Then there is Ekalavya's story. Then there is Savitri's story. There are so many stories and so many literature videos where there are stories. Recently, YouTube AI has done a video on one of the Shakespeare's plays, Othello's story. So that is also available, only the story. So not Othello, I think it's Hamlet's story. So you can watch all this. When you watch, immediately repeat in English. So that will benefit you. You can improve by doing all these things. Do it for a few days and then let me know. The next session is for special members, which is on 9th, day after tomorrow. That session is for special members. So please note and please attend. I hope all special members will attend. uh, yes, practice, practice, practice. Anybody who wants to speak, please practice. Unless you use your own machine, you cannot speak. Therefore, start using it. Say whatever you feel like to yourself. Speak to yourself in English. Whatever you heard today, sit for 5 minutes and speak in English. Speak loudly, not in your mind. Mind is for thinking, speaking. So when you speak loudly, then you get practice. If you speak every day for 5 or 10 minutes, then you will get a lot of practice. But for that, you will have to watch the videos and practice. Here we are talking mainly about certain topics. So today's topic was nouns, because without knowing the nouns, you cannot speak. So to help you to speak, you need some foundation. And therefore, today, all of you who are new, don't worry. I'm telling you, watch this video and I'm telling you to ask questions. Now I'm going to test you on what you have understood. Because in case you haven't seen that video, I explained what is there in that video, and that is noun functions. Now, those of you who are new, who have said that you can't speak, read the story to yourself. If you want, take a picture of the story, or when this video comes, you pause the video there, read the story loudly 5 times, and then close it and speak it out yourself without looking at the text. Tell the story. That will give you excellent practice of speaking. Okay, keep doing that. Unless you do lot of practice, you will not get benefited. Yes, that is very good. You are practicing, 5 sentences. That is very good. I wanted feedback from the special members. So I'm telling this to the other members also. All members, primary and special members, as soon as you watch the video, when you're watching live, no problem. But when this becomes a video, whether you are available on the live or not, go to the video and give your feedback. Is this video helpful? Would you like me to change the style of the video? What would you like? If I get your feedback, it helps me to plan the classes better. I can't teach you according to a syllabus. This is not a school or college. I can teach you what you want to learn. Therefore, now I'm telling you what I want to tell you. But if you tell me what you want, then we will go accordingly. My belief is that, like we are doing for special members, all members also, we should have some disciplined sessions. Then your speaking will improve through your watching of videos, which I will suggest. For every session of all members, I will suggest one video. And before coming to the class, if you can watch that video, that will be greatly helpful. So now let me try to share with you one one slide only I'm trying to share with you. And as I told you, this slide has a story. So watch this story, read it. Now I'm reading it out to you. Lucky sells flowers in the market. Nimi has a fish stall in the same market. Both women are good friends. One day, in heavy rain, Nimi takes shelter in Lucky's house, which is near the market. Lucky gives her friend the best room in her house. Lucky's house smells very nice because it is filled with flowers. She's a flower seller, so flowers. But Nimi's nose prefers the smell of fish. For her comfort, Nimi requests her friend to bring her fish basket to this room. Then she sleeps in peace. Very good. Market is a noun. Fine. You can just write the word since typing so much might be difficult. So you type. Okay, very good. Market is a noun. Any other nouns? The passage is full of nouns because every sentence have to have a noun. Lucky is noun. Very good. Lucky, Nimi are both nouns. Very good. Flowers, noun. Lucky, noun. House is also a noun. Very good. Flowers is right. Fish stall, excellent. Fish stall is a noun. Room is a noun. Lucky, fish, house, everything is a noun. Very good. Woman is a noun. Fish basket is a noun. Flower is a noun. Very good. House, Nimi, friends, all are nouns. Shelter is a noun. Very good. Nimi is noun. Basket is noun. Room is noun. Rain is noun. Very good. Fish is noun. Nose is noun. Very good. Fish, room. Woman is noun. Women is noun. Okay. Nimi, lucky are noun. Friend, noun. Rain, noun. Very good. Okay. Nimi's nose. Yes, two nouns. Nimi's is one noun. Nose is one noun. She is not a noun. She is a pronoun. Fish stall is noun. Lucky's house also is two nouns. Lucky's is one noun. House is one noun. Room is right. Room is also noun. Comfort, very good, excellent. Comfort is noun. Women is noun. Nose is noun. Peace is noun, very good. Fish basket, okay. Fish basket. Fish basket is noun. Rain is noun. Stall, fish stall, hyphenated. All the hyphenated words are nouns here. Fish basket, then fish stall, fish basket, these are all single nouns. Okay, stall, peace, room, comfort. Very good. Yes. She, then, no, then is not a noun. Then is a connector. This is also not a noun. It is a pronoun which acts as an adjective also. Her is pronoun. She and her are pronouns. Peace is not an adjective. Peace is a noun. The adjective form of peace is peaceful. That word is peaceful. Smell. Smell is noun. Smell is correct. Okay. Lucky's house is not possessive noun. Lucky's is possessive noun. House has to be either subject object. You have to tell me. Peace is not a verb. Peace is a noun. The verb form of peace is pacify. The verb form is pacify. Smell is a verb also sometimes, but I'm not talking about sometimes. I'm talking about this passage. In this passage, smell is a noun. Flowers is correct. Okay, now let us stop this. We have to identify the functions. Now, the first noun in the set, uh, the first sentence, don't give answers now. Wherever you want, I want sentence by sentence answers. In the first sentence, lucky is a noun, flowers is a noun, market is a noun. Now you have to tell me lucky is first sentence only. Please understand. I hope you can hear clearly that I'm talking only about the first sentence. Lucky flowers market. What are their functions? What does lucky do in the sentence? What does flower do in the sentence? And what does market do in the sentence? Lucky's is possessive, but not lucky. Okay. I think we have to now decide whether the noun is a subject, whether the noun is an object, or it is a prepositional object, or it is an indirect or direct object, or it is possessive. This is what we have to decide. So, in the first sentence, I did not get answers for the first sentence yet. Lucky is subject. Fine, I got one answer. Market and flowers. Lucky is subject. All are nouns. I'm not looking for nouns. I'm looking for noun function. Santosh Meenaji, if you are late, today we are doing noun function. So the function of this three words. Lucky is the subject of the sentence. Flowers. Intransitive is a description for verbs. We haven't come to verbs today. Lucky is noun. Okay, we got that. Flowers is direct object. Very good. Market is prepositional object. Very good. Lucky is subject. Flowers object. Very good. Here we don't have direct indirect object. We have just one object. We don't have to say direct object and one prepositional object. So we have subject lucky, object flowers, prepositional object market. Now go to the second sentence. Nimi has a fish stall in the same market. Nimi is a noun, fish stall is a noun, market is a noun. Again, the same order. Nimi is the subject, fish stall is the object, and market is the prepositional object. Right. Now we move on to the third sentence. Both women are good friends. We have women, one noun, and friends, one noun. Now, which is the subject and which is the object? Women are good friends. You have to identify which is the subject and which is the object. Women subject, right? Okay, I will give you, after finishing the exercise, I will give you explanation about possessive noun. Please watch the video also because I have given in great detail explanation. Woman is the subject and friends is the object. Friends is not complement. Okay, that we complement we use only when adjective is used. If I say both women are good, then it becomes complement. We don't use friends noun as the word complement. Friend, good friend, we don't say. We say only friends. Friends is the object. Women subject, friends object, not good friends. Those who have written good friends, please cut off good. Good is friends is object. Like, right. Lucky subject, right. One day in heavy rain, day and rain are both nouns. Nimi takes shelter in Lucky's house. Nimi is a noun, shelter is noun, Lucky's is noun, house is noun, which is near the market. Market is noun. So now this is a long sentence. Day, one day in heavy rain. Yes, Nimi noun. We have gone beyond nouns. Now we are doing subject. Flowers object. Don't say direct object. Flowers is the only object in the sentence. We cannot use the word direct object when there is only one object next to the verb. Direct object is used when two objects follow the verb side by side without a preposition. One day in heavy rain. Day is not the subject. That is a part of the object. It is an object phrase. Day and heavy rain, both are parts of the object, prepositional object. Nimi is the subject of the sentence. Noun phrase, very good. One day in heavy rain is the noun phrase. Nimi takes shelter in Lucky's house. Nimi takes shelter. Nimi is subject, shelter is object, rain is prepositional object. Very good. Lucky's is possessive. House is again prepositional object. Lucky's house. That is the possessive form, where house is the object actually, and Lucky's is the possessive form. Friends is object, yes. Lucky's house is prepositional object, where Lucky's is possessive. Market is again prepositional object. Near is the preposition. Lucky is subject in the next sentence. Friend is object. Now here you have indirect object. You see, Lucky gives her friend the best room. Friend is the indirect object. Room is the direct object. House is the prepositional object. Okay, please don't type. Listen to the explanation. That all of you can listen to the explanation hundreds of times is the benefit of YouTube. When we taught in class, this benefit was not there. In fact, the last 10 years of my class, I remember students would get their phones and record the lecture by saying, "We'll go home and listen." And especially those who could not see benefited much by that recording because they learnt by listening. So you can listen to it again and again. Wherever you're missing out the explanation, please don't type anymore. Just put, as I told you, put an emoji by saying, "I got it correct, I understood." This you can immediately do. There is one button there which you can press. Then you will, various things will come out to say that you have understood, to say that you have got it right. So here we have Lucky is the subject, her friend is indirect object, Room is direct object, house is prepositional object. Lucky's again is possessive, house is subject. Smells very nice because very nice. See now, compliment. Whoever was saying, I think Vitalji, compliment. Here you see, Lucky's house smells very nice. That is the subject complement because it is filled with flowers. Flowers is prepositional object. Nimi's nose. Nimi's is possessive and nose is the subject. Prefers the smell. Here, the smell is object and of fish. Fish is prepositional object. For her comfort, comfort is prepositional object. Nimi is subject. Friend is object. Fish basket is object again. And room is prepositional object. She, of course, is pronoun. I already told you. She is pronoun. And in peace, so peace is the, she is the subject here, but it's a pronoun, it's not a noun. And then in peace, peace is the prepositional object. So these are all what we have here. There's a small story. The story was told by the great sage Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. I have just adapted that story by putting names, etc., to suit our requirement. Our requirement is smell is not the object, smell, where is it? Okay, yes, smell is object. Very good. Smell is object, lucky is subject. That is fine. That is fine. Smell is also another word which can do more functions than the noun function. If you say, this fish smells nice or this flower smells nice, so smell is being used as the verb form. Here it is the noun form, the smell object. With that, we come to the end of whatever we have done today. You did not ask me questions. Next time we have a all member session, I want at least 10 to 15 questions. Only two people told me that they want to speak better, which was, of course, not a part of the video which I asked you to watch. I don't know if you got the notification about the video. Please say yes or no in the chat box. Say yes if you got the notification about watching a video before attending this class. And say no if you did not get the notification. The message of the story, very interesting. The message of the story is that sometimes when something which is not pleasing attracts us more, this is a very powerfully philosophic story. If you read the tales and parables of Sri Ramakrishna, you will get the original story. Then we cannot get used to the higher, better things. The smell of flowers is the higher, better thing. The smell of fish is something lower. And when we are interested only in the lower thing, we can't reach to that level of height. That is what it is, the message of the story. Very, very powerful philosophy, but we can't discuss in an English classroom. That philosophy is not discussed. Someday we can do it. Yes, you've got. Yes, today's one noun video, which I wanted you to watch and ask me questions. I don't know how many of you watched it. So if you watched it, then please ask questions. If you don't have questions, then you must be able to use all these noun forms correctly. I also told you about the usual mistakes we make. Now we have one question to answer, and that is Samata's question Samantha's question about possessive. Possessive is when two nouns come together and one of the nouns shows belonging to the other.